Virgo, to my temple. You are now entering the temple of tarot, astrology, and yoga. My name is Ava, and I'm going to be your oracle for the month of May 2026. This is a combination of astrology and the tarot, and will be relevant to you if your sun sign, your moon sign, or your rising sign is Virgo. This month, May, is a very active, changeable, transformative month for you, Virgo, because both Mars and Venus, the two symbolic planets that I follow, are changing signs mid-month. So half the month is ruled by one sign and the other half by another, in both cases of Mars and Venus. So we have Mars in Aries. That's your 8th house. Then the second half of the month, it moves into the 9th house, Taurus. And Venus is in Gemini. Gemini is your 10th house. Then at the second half of the month, it moves into Cancer, which is your 11th house. So here we have the 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th houses all being awakened by the energy of Mars and Venus. So what we have is a literal split down the middle of the month. So the first half of the month, with Mars in your 8th, the 8th house is ruled by Scorpio. It is described as the house of death. Death is a symbol of transformation, deep transformation. So it could involve you transforming on a very, psychological, deep psychological level. While Venus is in the 10th, bringing luck and advancement and recognition within the sphere of your career. So Mars is in the 8th, Venus is in the 10th. So there's deep soul searching going on. Or you just may have to deal with taxes, the government in some way, which is another description of the 8th house. This is also about shared resources, partnerships, important, significant partnerships, be they romantic or business. They imply a deepening of your partnerships. And the house, the 8th house, is also about sex. So that could be literal. It could be very sexual. You could be feeling very sexual, passionate. But that sexuality and that passion is a sort of a root energy. And what it really is a stirring of inner intensities, wanting a deeper, more genuine experience, be it through your body, your mind, or your soul, your spirit. Because the 8th house is also about deep spiritual inquiry. So, coupled with Venus in the 10th of your career, so we've got this inner work going, as well as maybe you have to deal with some major shifts in your reality, inward or outward, while your career is experiencing, or you are experiencing within your career, a level of increase, joy, abundance, harmony. These are the attributes of Venus. She's bringing that energy into your career. So it's an interesting dichotomy. In the outer world, you're almost elf-like in your ability to navigate the responsibilities of your work, of your career. You seem to have a social grace that allows you to navigate even the roughest waters. But internally, you're really going through some sort of alchemical readjustment. Now, by the second half of the month, with Mars in your in your 9th house of higher learning, expansion of your horizons through travel or through study or through academic pursuits, the insights or the what you've accomplished while Mars was in the 8th is now expressed out into the world. And Venus moves from the 10th to the 11th house of hopes and dreams and friendships, community. So you become very social. You leave behind the sort of chambers of introspection and pursue a more social agenda. You might even find that your career is positively influenced by new social connections, or that your newly gained inner revelations lead to you being able to literally move the borders of your experiences further out, encompassing a wider world, either philosophically or experientially through your experience. So this is a dual yin-yang sort of month in which you leave behind the psychological baggage that may have been weighing you down and not allowing for career, professional expansion, or for spiritual, intellectual expansion. So that is the celestial backdrop groundwork for the upcoming tarot forecast. So thank you very much for joining me. Please wait for that tarot forecast. And I want to thank you very much for messaging me. I live a very lonely life because I am alone for the most part out here at the edge of the world on the big island of Hawaii. I live off-grid, meaning I am removed from the normal busy flux of society. There's a small town near here where I go to do my shopping, and I do see people there. But I used to live in Manhattan, LA, San Francisco. So I know what living with people is like. And now I'm living completely without people, for the most part. And so you out there provide for me a link to a broader human community. And I appreciate from the bottom of my heart all your messages and for your donations as well, as I ask for support so that I can manage to keep this channel alive and well out here from the middle of nowhere. And I certainly appreciate your help. And if you would like a personal and private reading from me, there are methods by which you can do that. I provide them in the links below. So now, let's wait for the tarot forecast. Thank you, and namaste. Welcome, Virgo, to your tarot forecast for May 2026, relevant to you if your sun sign, moon sign, or rising sign is Virgo. I'm a Pisces, you're my opposite, and opposites attract. My greatest love, my deepest early love was Virgo. And it's interesting that I've had many Virgonian friends, Virgo friends. I seem to appreciate your ability to think clearly, rationally, your down-to-earth empathy with mankind, your ability to nurture and to protect, and your innate innocence. Your symbol is the Virgin. The Virgin is pure. Purity is about radiance. So you radiate an innocence that, to me, is very attractive. And this is, of course, the most ideal expression of Virgo. Virgo can be worrywarts. They can be very, well, you know, you're a mutable sign, so you're able to adapt. You have a spirit of inquiry, consequently, and so you do very well in scholarly endeavors. This reading, this tarot forecast, is going to be involve only 4 cards, and will be built on the foundational information that we received. So, let's begin. In the position of the overall mood or energy of the month, we have a fire card, plasma. And so I think it relates to the fire that is Mars. Mars traveling through the 8th, a profound house of transformation, into the 9th of profound expansion. So this month, with the combination of the 8th and the 9th house being ignited, it suggests a month of two halves. A private, intense beginning in the beginning of the month, followed by a highly more visible and rewarding end to the month. So that's what the month is about. But with this only confirms it. We've got the Two of Wands. Twos are about choices. If we look at the card closely, you'll see a man at the very edge of his dominion, his domain, his what he's made. And he's leaning on one wand. The wand represents both what he has and a new inspiration. The second wand represents the planning stage of that process of manifestation. So this shows that you're at the pivotal crossroads between internal transformation and external expansion. The Two of Wands mirrors perfectly this shift of Mars from the 8th to the 9th, from deep psychic insight into higher learning and travel. So you're not merely surviving or content with what is. You are moving into actively planning your next conquest. With Venus gracing your career and social circles in the first and second half of the month, the world outside, the people outside of you, within your career or within your community, are receptive to you. You see that globe that our protagonist here is holding? That represents having the world in the palm of your hand. You hold the world in your hands this month as you're weighing which professional or community alliance is going to align with your long-term goals. So what this is saying is that this month is about visionary choices. So with that as our beginning, let's move on to the position of the challenge. We have a swords card. The swords are about your mind, about the state of your mind. And the swords represents balance. It's the number 6. It's finding mental balance. When you look at the card closely, you see refugees being ferried away from the crisis, the trouble, the difficulty, into a calmer waters, pardon me. So, because this card is in the challenge position, it may be that you're getting stuck in the middle of this change of guard, change of phase, as Mars moves from the 8th to the 9th house. It's as if you're being pushed to evolve from deep, private, intense revelations, intense private work, into a broader, either philosophical or terrestrial freedom. Freedom of movement, freedom of thought. The challenge is to move away from the stormy waters of the crisis without even looking back. You've got to leave behind the problem, the conflict, the power struggle over money or perhaps shared resources or inheritance or just deep changes. You have to unburden your mind so that you can, in fact, journey towards a better future without feeling so heavy and distracted. So you may realize that you need to move on, to leave behind a situation, a person, a place, a job, a career that's not in your best interest. And this task may feel burdensome, heavy, like a chore, because you don't realize the relief that it will bring. So, you aren't fighting a new battle, Virgo. You're fighting the exhaustion from an old battle. So you need to stop overanalyzing, overthinking this, and steer your boat to calmer waters. Please don't get stuck, Virgo, right here in the middle, right at the crossroads. Continue to move away from those stormy waters, whether they were internal or external. So that is your challenge for the month. We'll put that right here. Continuing on to the position of the unexpected. We have an earth card, and you're an earth sign. So some wonderful, unexpected, synchronistic event will help you to move from, again, being stuck on the crossroads of this transformative, changing month. We have the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles, we look at a master craftsman who is very studiously creating his coins, carving them. But he's very much engaged and pleasantly so in his work. So there may be an unexpected or sudden demand for mastery, for a display of your skills. There's hyper focus on a project that will consume your time and energy. You may find with Mars in the 8th and then in the 9th houses, these two energies are pushing you towards deep psychological breakthroughs and or expanding your horizons through study or travel. With this card, some sort of apprenticeship to a complex situation arises unexpectedly. An unexpected apprenticeship where you're learning something, learning a new skill. perhaps a deep dive research project or a complicated tax or inheritance situation needs sorting out. This requires meticulous, repetitive effort. So meticulous, repetitive effort is involved in this surprising opportunity. This is hard work, though. Keeping your nose to the grindstone, working diligently towards success, and not skipping the finer details. This is true craftsmanship. And that is what will surprise you. Let me remove this during the month, but that's a good surprise. So, reward for work well done. And we end with the Three of Wands, another fire card. Remember, we started with the Two of Wands. And so we have graduated from planning to executing. The Three of Wands. This represents successful expansion of your horizons after a period of intense internal work, or maybe collaborative work, or just work on yourself, or work per se. It also signifies that your ship is coming in. He's waiting for his ship to come in. Your ship is coming in because of the efforts you made. And now they're beginning to bear fruit. Now you're ready to step into the larger world. Mars in the 9th. You successfully have navigated the complexities of these intense transformative changes. And now you have a clear view of your future. So all the heavy lifting has already been done by now, by the end of the month. And this shows that you're in a phase where your long-term plans are beginning to manifest. The Two of Wands begins to manifest fruits by the end of the month. This is whether we're talking about your career, your love life, or your own personal growth. This card indicates that you are moving beyond your comfort zone. You're traveling into uncharted territory, but with confidence, with a sure vision of where you want to go. You shift from internal struggle to external action. You focus on travel, higher learning, inner spiritual growth. So you're not just surviving anymore. This internal transformation, this internal transformative period causes you to be able to use the power that gave you to expand your life out in a very profound and life-changing way. So that is the forecast for May 2026. Thank you, everyone, for for joining me. I appreciate your help, your support, your kind messages. And if you would like to support the channel, there's a link below. If you would like a personal and private reading from me, there's also links below. Now, I wanted to tell you something about, this channel is called now the Temple of Tarot, Astrology, and Yoga. But I stopped filming my yoga a little while ago because, for a very mundane reason, I film on my patio located here on the Big Island of Hawaii. And we have mosquitoes during the wet season, and we have just been through that season, and it is almost impossible to fight those mosquitoes. So I had to give up, but we are now entering into a period of more dry weather starting maybe yesterday. So I want to make sure that spring has a real foothold into the weather conditions here, and I will start again to film my yoga sessions, but with the caveat, because I have antique filming equipment, and so I'm limited, I believe, to about 15 to 20 minutes maximum, where I can give you clear images, because I'm moving and my camera doesn't seem to like that. But I will, if I want to give you a half an hour, instead of 15 or 20 minutes, I will divide the sessions into two films, two videos. So I just wanted you to know that I'm preparing to do that as well. And I'm also preparing to give you a sort of tutorial on why I believe tropical astrology is the truth, not only as compared to other methods of astrology, but because it is an accurate description of the relationship between the celestial spheres, their movements, their cycles, and the land itself, Earth, and the human spirit. So I am working on that as well. So thank you for your support. Thank you for being here, and I will see you next month on My Love, Virgo. Namaste.